Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, picture this. You're scrolling through an online pet shop at like midnight. Or maybe you're standing in the aisle of your local pet store, just staring at this massive, totally overwhelming wall of supplements. You've got omega-3s, joint chews, calming blends, probiotics, the whole shebang. And you're likely doing this because you're trying to figure out the absolute best preventative wellness routine for your aging cat or dog. And a lot of times this deep dive starts right after a vet visit. When your vet prescribes a traditional medication for something like arthritis or a gut issue, it is completely normal to wonder, wait, is there a more natural way, a more proactive approach? Like, is there something we can do to support our pet's body before the symptoms even show up? So to figure that out, we're going to cover a few things today. We'll look at the pet wellness revolution, nutraceuticals versus pharmaceuticals, the science of long-term benefits, the A+ naturals approach, how to integrate supplements safely, and finally, why the future is preventative. All right, Section 1, the pet wellness revolution, shifting the paradigm. So the absolute foundation of this whole revolution is the nutraceutical. This term was actually coined way back in 1989 by Dr. Stephen DeFelice, and it's basically a mashup of two words, nutrition and pharmaceutical. In plain English, it's a food-derived substance that gives your pet health benefits that go way beyond just basic nutrition. So instead of waiting to treat a diagnosed condition with a drug, you're using natural food sources to optimize how their body works and help prevent disease in the first place. Which brings us to Section 2, nutraceuticals versus pharmaceuticals, and finding the balance. Now let's be clear, we are definitely not here to demonize pharmaceuticals. They are literal lifesavers, but they just serve a totally different purpose than nutraceuticals. For instance, pharmaceuticals use synthesized chemicals, while nutraceuticals are derived from food and plants. Regulation-wise, pharmaceuticals get strict FDA approval, but nutraceuticals, they kind of fall into this gray zone where quality really depends on the manufacturer. And the end goals are completely different. Pharmaceuticals give you that fast, targeted treatment, sometimes with side effects, while nutraceuticals are all about gradually building long-term wellness with very minimal risk. Think of it like this. Your pet's body is a super delicate, complex ecosystem. Nutraceuticals, they are the daily infrastructure. They're like your maintenance crew, quietly optimizing everything in the background over weeks and months. Pharmaceuticals, on the other hand, are your emergency responders. You wouldn't call the fire department to fix a leaky faucet or do daily maintenance on your house, right? You want a strong, solid foundation, so those emergency responders are only called in for a true crisis. Okay, Section 3, the science of long-term benefits and what the research actually says. Because guys, there is genuine hardcore science backing these infrastructural ingredients. Take omega-3s, especially EPA and DHA. They've been extensively studied for lowering systemic inflammation, boosting mobility, and even supporting brain health in older dogs. Then you've got glucosamine and chondroitin literally acting as the building blocks to help repair cartilage. Probiotics are stepping in to balance the gut microbiome, which we know impacts everything from immune function to anxiety. And then this is cool. Medicinal mushrooms like shiitake and reishi actually contain these complex compounds called beta-glucans that actively prime the immune system. Let's look at Section 4, the A+ naturals approach, bridging food and medicine. If you want to see what a top-tier, science-backed formulation looks like in the real world, A+ Naturals is a crazy good example. Their backstory is honestly mind-blowing. The founder, Helena van der Merwe, is a pharmaceutical expert who actually co-authored research at the NASA Space Radiation Facility. Seriously, she was studying how nutraceuticals could protect astronauts preparing for deep space missions. And she took those exact same insights on oxidative stress and cellular damage and applied that intense scientific rigor straight into everyday pet wellness. And the result is their flagship plant-based immunity blend. It mixes anti-inflammatory heavy hitters like ginger and turmeric with those immune-boosting shiitake and reishi mushrooms we mentioned, plus some pre- and probiotics. It literally addresses inflammation at the cellular root. There's even a really sweet success story about a cat named Shrimpy who was missing developmental milestones until this exact blend completely turned his health around. Plus, it's totally legit. It holds a veterinary health product notification from Health Canada and even has U.S. copyright approval for its proprietary blend. But here's the thing. A+ Naturals knows you can't just supplement your way out of a bad diet. You need a food-first foundation. So they put together the Possum Plates cookbook so pet parents can whip up whole food anti-inflammatory meals right in their own kitchens.
We're talking turmeric-infused broths and omega-3 rich fish dinners that work perfectly alongside the supplements to fight chronic inflammation as our pets age. All right, moving on to Section 5, integrating supplements safely. Consider this your how-to playbook.
Because the pet supplement market is kind of the Wild West right now, you really have to be on your guard. If you see Miracle Cure on a label, put it back. Nutraceuticals support health. They don't legally cure diseases. Watch out for a total lack of ingredient transparency, no independent third-party testing, or prices that just seem way too good to be true. Those are massive red flags for cheap, inferior ingredients. Instead, keep an eye out for green flags like the NASC quality seal, which basically guarantees you're getting exactly what's on the label. Next up, you absolutely need to have a collaborative chat with your vet, but don't just walk in and vaguely ask, "Hey, can I give my dog fish oil?" Go in prepared. See something like, "Hey, I was reading that omega-3s could really help with Max's joint inflammation. What do you think?" Bring your research, know your pet's full history, and make double sure these new supplements won't mess with any medications they're already taking. Once your vet gives you the green light, follow this step-by-step playbook. Step 1. Start with a baseline wellness assessment. Get the blood work done so you can actually track if the supplement is working. Step 2. Prioritize based on life stage. Puppies need DHA for their brains, while seniors usually need that joint support. Step 3. Introduce just one supplement at a time so you can monitor how they react. Step 4. Be patient. These aren't overnight fixes. Give it 60 to 90 days for the biology to actually shift. And Step 5. Reassess annually, because your pet's needs are definitely going to change as they grow. Which brings us to our final section, Section 6. The future is preventative, a proactive paradigm. So as we've seen throughout this explainer, this massive shift toward proactive foundational wellness is completely changing the game in veterinary medicine. The whole point of integrating a science-backed nutraceutical routine like the stuff A+ Naturals is doing is to give your pet's body the exact tools it needs to function at its peak and fend off disease before it starts. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. The best medicine is the medicine you never need to take. So how are you going to start building that strong foundation for your pet today?